All right, guys, your girl coming back in with another one. And this one, y'all, my girl Shalissa, she started this trend, and I am just going to jump on it because she told her part of the story with what she was talking about. I'm going to tell my part of the story. Same topic. Well, kind of same topic, but basically her topic was, you were, and I'm going to do a little twist with it because I said this in another video, but you were around the new supplies the whole entire time. The narc brought many supplies around you the whole entire time, and here's the twist. You brought the next supply around them when somebody close to you, a friend or a family member or someone you worked with or knew, end up with the narc. Yeah, they do that, y'all. They do that. And the way Shalissa was breaking it down, and I was just like, now, I don't think, look, it's all bad. I can't, but that was bad. Y'all gotta go watch my girl Shalissa. I'm trying to remember her channel name, but I know it's Shalissa. And her sister's Life with Tashana, so. But Shalissa, okay. They do so many things that's like so toxic, nasty, gutsy things where you just clueless. And when you're with a narc, your brain don't work. You're in a fog. So you're not picking it up. Because you're not thinking every day or every time you're around them that they're thinking of doing something evil to harm you or to try to do something to feed their demons. I'll say it like that, okay? So, yeah, I remember. So look, my part. I remember it wasn't funny then. It's funny now. So I remember I had to go out of town. It was the town that I lived in. Not the town that I was born. I'm from Chicago. But I left that city to move to where I'm at right now. And I would go back, family and friends are still there. I had some business, something I had to do. So it was times that I had to go back, right? So I remember I went back by myself and whatever. And I was meeting up with my friends, okay? I'm excited. We like at our favorite place where we like to eat. They like to have a couple of beers or whatever. And I was so excited. To see my friends. And all of a sudden, during the time that I'm seeing them with them laughing and catching up and cracking jokes or whatever, because that's what we do. I love you, bird. Mwah, my big bird. But that's what we do. And Narc texts me. And I didn't think about it at the time. Maybe because I had one or two glasses of wine, or probably really didn't care. I'm just spending time with my friends. Who knows what I was feeling at the time, but most likely I probably really didn't care. And he texts me, and then he goes, oh, the church lady sees you there, you're there with your friends or whatever, and you scared her. And I'm like, church lady, what are you talking about? Talking about Willis. And I remember this one woman that he was talking about, like a church lady that they met when he was with before he met me, and they met this church lady or whatever. I don't know anything about the church lady. He just briefly mentioned stuff about church lady, but the church lady's in the bar, so I don't know how much church that was. I mean, I went out churching like I should have been, but I knew God, okay? And it didn't dawn on me at the time, like, why the hell would you say that? And if she did say that to you, why y'all communicating? Why is she texting you where I'm at, and then you texting me saying that I was being mean to the church lady, the lady I don't even know? That part. I don't even know, but I did see her over there at the bar in the back corner with some man. I don't know if it was her husband or whatever. And I did see that she kept staring at me like with these big old eyes. Ooh, y'all. Just got one for y'all. I got another one. Anyway, let's get through the church lady, because this one that just came up, I wrote down the other ones. Anyway, and so I'm there with my friends or whatever, and we're just acting normal. Nobody's huggy. Well, we did hug when we met each other, but not like that. But nobody's looking suspicious like it's something other than being friends or whatever. But that woman just kept staring at me. She's like in the corner just staring and staring and looking. Her eyes are all big. And then real quick, because I think this house is part of it too. So I remember when I met one of the friends, I'll call it the friend, wife. Even though they work together, and that woman was just looking at me and looking at me. And while everybody else was like, hi, very nice to meet you, and reaching out to shake my hand, and she just looked at me and just like, did this little thing, you know how they do. And I'm like trying to figure out, like, is this a racist thing or what's her problem? What's her problem with me? But you know how women can be. It could have been many things. But now that I'm thinking about it, it was because of the knock. It definitely was because of the knock. Knocks would not look, y'all. Knocks would mess around with their friends, woman, girl, man, whatever. And the whole entire time, nobody knows, but the person that they're doing this with knows, and that's why they give you the cold shoulder and look at you type of weirds. If that's not what it is, it's because they already smeared you to that person, so now that person is looking at you type of weirds. Because everybody thinks that the smear campaign comes after the relationship. No, it's going on from the beginning and throughout the whole entire relationship. So don't think that when it's over, that's when they started talking about you. No. And then they be having people feeling some type of way about you, and they don't have no proof of that. They don't even freaking know you, but they're taking the narc side. Now, let me get to this other part. Because, man, it's just like they will set you up. They will set you up and trap you in the worst ways and try to triangulate you with other people. And the other person knows about you, but you don't know about the other person. And that's their sick game, okay? That's their sick game. And you're trying to figure out, why is this person acting this way? But like I said in the beginning with the church lady, I didn't know her. I think Narc may have introduced her like maybe one time or whatever, but this lady was like so obsessed with me. Like, how did you know? Maybe I think I probably told the Narc, yeah, me and such and such them, we gonna meet at the old blah 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 restaurant. And maybe Narc sent her, but they be thinking that they doing a favor, because I guess Narc be thinking that they're sending a spy. No, it's a sick game, and she fell for that. Here's the other sick game, y'all. Fire. I said this one before. So get to this other state. After leaving that state, get to the other state, round up in the OVIC, and everything was locked down or whatever. So it was very, very hard to try to find places to live and whatever. So excuse me, guys, if I'm going fast, because I got another video to do. And so not like, well, we'll just hire a realtor, to find blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. Now, the first place I found, it was apartment, because everybody being shady and shaky. So I knew if I found a apartment complex, I knew that it was real. I don't got time for games. So living in an apartment for a year, and then came having to get a realtor to try to rent a house or whatever. Y'all, why this clown hired a realtor that he was a googity goo, googity go, smackety smack, clap, clap, clap. And I'm telling you, so I don't want to say race, but some particular women, they let the cat out the bag, the way they be looking at you, and they be asking certain questions. So they be looking at you, and I'm like, why is the... And then the funny part was, everything that I was telling them was true. But due to COVID, it was on a halt, okay? Anyway, so it was the mother and daughter dual realty company and whatever. And I noticed that the daughter was just too fixated on me and was like asking me certain questions or whatever. But she did the same thing like the church lady, and they both was the same race. She did the same thing like the church lady. She's like looking at me, her eyes are big, and she's looking shocked or whatever. And she started asking questions, and she was like, oh yeah, me and my husband. So she was married. Okay. And then I don't know what made me turn around, but when I turned around, I saw the narc like sitting back like king of the cock. And like with this look and smirk on its face when the woman started asking me about what I did. So I started saying what I did with my theater, my comedy, my shows, my music. I was an entertainer, playwright, blah, 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 blah. You know, but it was on a halt at that time. But I did do a lot of traveling and shows and things like that with my talent, okay? No big deal. No big deal. Self-employed, so there was really nothing more that I could show because everybody got locked down. So, Narc sitting over there looking like cock of the walk, like, well, I'm the one that's the money or whatever. But the way the woman kept staring at me, then it got to the point where I was like, let's just find another realtor. So we ended up finding some older lady, did her thing, found a great spot. Sad thing was I wasn't able to be there very long because rap is a rap, it's a rap, it's a rap. Okay, let's stay on topic. So the next time, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make this video quick. So the next time, so I'm not in any particular order. So I remember when I had a competition that I was doing in Atlanta, and it pretty was majority men, and I was pretty much the only female that, you know, was in the same category as men with what I was going to be performing and whatever. So I remember I got up there and did my piece, and everybody and all the judges gave me great reviews and whatever. They was like, we thought you was gonna come up here and do this, and you just came up here and spit bars. They was like, you just would like, they were like, you're like a combination of Nicki Minaj and, you know, combination of this and that. And I was just like, oh, okay. Because they was like, you just look like you were just from the praise dance, but you spit bars. So I'm thinking, I'm getting off the stage and I'm going back to my seat and whatever. And next thing you know, I see, be nice, a big back. Was that nice? I see a big back sitting in my seat next to the knob. This whole church. Why you here? Didn't think nothing about it because she was part of the show. So I'm pretty sure that Narc told her to apply to this show, this competition, so that whatever Narc told her about me, whatever, she did not really actually know what I do. So when I came back to the seat and I'm looking at her and she was like, oh, is this your seat? Is this your seat? I'm like, yeah. She was like, oh, I was just sitting here because I was going to talk to him. I'm like, okay. But she's like, I'm sorry. And then she just gets up and leave. Not just sitting there looking stupid. Any other person would have been like, excuse me, this seat is for my woo-woo, you know. And that's just what it was. They have a way to do the most evilest ish. They will bring their supplies smack dead in your damn face and you never know. But them supplies be knowing it's you. That's why they get with your family member or a best friend or whatever. And the whole entire time you with them, they're creeping with a family member and a best friend. That's what Shalissa was talking about. Like, you had already met or been around the new supply or brought the new supply, because if you hadn't introduced a certain person to the narc, that wouldn't have been the new supply. But when you did introduce this person to the narc, the narc goal was to make them the new supply for a couple of reasons. One, just to hurt you. And just to turn people on you. They love when they can turn people on you. And whether the people figure out that the narc was the narc later or whatever, they already know that that relationship can never be repaired again. Okay? Now, one of the other times, so I just killed two birds with one stone with that one. I just nailed it all. Oh, no, the last one. And the other time was with the wing monkey, which was a relative that brought their best friend over and was like, oh yeah, Narc and them was, trying to get together, and this is something that was before me and whatever, and it was weird, because this person, the Narc, was with someone already, and this person was ill. And that was going to be a 2-for-1 for the Narc, because if a Narc can give over somebody's life to the Satan, they feel like they won a prize. They feel like they got a goal. They feel like they on top at that point. They feel like they're the ish, and it doesn't matter which category they are in, the borderline, full-blown narcissist, sociopath, psychopath, whatever. If they're getting to that point where they feel like they want to be given over lives, that's dangerous. And that's what you're dealing with. But yes, they will bring their new supplies right in your face and disguise it as something else. I'm just telling you the female version of it, with men, but it can go the other way around as well. It can go the other way around as well. So now you're going to be sitting there thinking like, damn, I know, we're really close, and like, they're my sister, my cousin. Even if it is their sister, their cousin, they are so sick, they will with a sister and a cousin, with a whole family member. They will giggity goo. Giggity goo. Sick. You're not dealing with a person, you're dealing with an evil entity that took over a person. Multiple entities. But they giggity goo. It's like, that's like their man energy. As long as they can giggity goo with anybody all day, every day, doesn't matter. Legal, not legal, does not matter. That's their goal. Because they think that that's love for them. They think that everybody wants them in their body for them. Okay? But I want to thank Shalissa. I got to go. This video was long. I want to thank Shalissa because they will bring their new supply right smack dead in your damn face. And the whole entire time you don't know. Even if it's the same sex. Bow. Bang. Clock it. Clock it. Even if it's the same sex, which will really throw you off. I know the Narc was actually giggity gooing with the husband and the wife. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Giggity gooing. And while them two keeping it a secret that they both giggity gooing with this same toxic ass Narc. Same toxic ass Narc. But I would say the male counterpart of that deal was way more stronger. She was just nothing. She was just getting used. Because what they was doing was way better, and what the Narc and them really wanted to do. Y'all better be watching out for them best friends. Trip taking best friends. Thinking like boys trip. Boys trip. Okay. Okay. The new supply is always in your face. They purposely bring the new supply in your face. In your face. And you be having no clue, know nothing about it. Know nothing. Ain't nobody got time for that. Not me. It's a journey. And it's real messed up that, that's just what it is. That's how you know Jesus is coming back. How close he is, because they're all being exposed. Jesus coming back when they redid the damage, when they brought their boy back. And now look at where we at. Ain't nobody got time for this. People be making decisions over the dumbest ish. You already be knowing that no, that's not the right choice to make, but you're going to make that choice because of one thing, and at the end of the day, it's just going to hurt everybody. Everybody. But that's how narcs do. And that's what flying monkeys do. Flying monkeys want to make sure that they control everything. That's why we are, as a whole, right now, trying to figure out what the H. We got some flooding and all this going on and whatever, and some deporting and all this. Look, they support each other. You just got to get right with God. He done with this. He tired. We tired. I'm tired. When you tired, you're tired. And be done. Now, with that being said, I got to go. And this next one, I'm going to try so hard to break down this toxic ass message. And I started sounding like a damn dyslexic 2-year-old trying to read it. I'm like, would it be so I can word salad. For you new beginners, I'm going to be trying to do a couple of videos where these new beginners that doesn't know or they're figuring it out. I wish I had this, but I hope I can help you guys. See you on the next one. Mwah. Be blessed. But we can't do this. Not done. In the words of my 2-year-old daughter when she was 2 and couldn't say no, we can't do this. Not done. Not done. Be blessed.